Hi, so we are on the priest garments in the creation of the tabernacle, and interesting that even in the garments, God has a lot of detail. It's Exodus 39-40 and Psalm 31-32 is the reading for today. Personally, I love these chapters. I find it so amazing, the symbolism of everything, how much it points to Jesus, how much it points to what the priestly duties are actually about. Unfortunately, in our time today, I think there's been a lot of church leaders that have done things that really reflect poorly and actually the opposite of what God would have his leaders be like. And even worse, people start thinking that they're like the God image for people. I like to point people to these chapters when explaining what God is supposed to be like, if they are interested, because the standard is not really what people necessarily live in our world. Reading these chapters, I just encourage you to see and know that if people were living exactly as God wanted them to be, this is what our church leaders would be like, and this is how they would take care of the people that go to their churches. Not saying there are some wonderful church leaders out there. I happen to have one, but just know that this is the standard and this is what God is looking for in his leaders. So if you've been hurt by the church, you can look to this as what should have been. The other place you can look is to Jesus, and he is the ultimate priest. This passage also really points to and supports every single thing that he did when he was on earth and how he was with everyone. One of the things I love in the garment is the description of how the chest plate is supposed to be on the heart, and the shoulder pads have the people's names, the tribe's names written on them. To me, that's a picture of the priest carrying the burdens of the people on his shoulders and in his heart. It's just beautiful. I really recommend reading it. So much you can dig into with this. The other thing I really wanted to point out was Psalm 32. Just another really encouraging verses in there, but I really appreciate it. I will instruct you and teach you in the way you should go. So know that when you're reading the Bible, that's what God does. If you have a bad pastor and you're afraid to go to church or church leader, God can instruct you through his word if you are concerned about that. Just read it. Anyway, hope you have a great day. Look forward to seeing you again soon.